guy named Retro Rhino on on YouTube. Let's just go to his channel. That would make this a lot easier. I've gotten a lot of messages about this, and let me just, give you my thoughts on the subject. All right. Okay, so he's got 2,000 subs, and okay. Hi, I'm Ryan, and I'm a Flash animator, and that's his Patreon and stuff like that. And that's a link, in case you want to help him out. So he rose to prominence, I guess I should say, when he announced right here that he was going to start he was going to try to animate the final arc of Bleach. Now, here's the thing. I saw this video here, and I watched his Q&A here, and I watched part of this. I didn't watch this video. So let me just ask you right now to make this a little bit easier. Who here has actually been keeping up to date better than I have on this? Who has actually been watching more of his videos and actually knows a better story about this? So if I say something incorrect or if I say something a little bit misinformed, someone else will allow me to correct that. It would just be a bunch of broken swords. Ha ha ha. I did. First time I'm hearing about this. Not me, not me, not me. What did you get this Black Friday? Oh, new Nintendo 3DS. He said he's going to make a different ending. Yes. Alright, well, if there's at least been... I bet you're betting too much on him. Yeah, that's what I want to get across here. So let me just start by saying that I think he means well. He's a very considerate person. When, he looks at the state of things, he looks at probably how the manga ended and the state that the anime is in right now, which is non-existent, and that there's really not going to be a lot of new Bleach content coming to the stage anytime soon. There's that live-action movie, but I hear that that's riddled through with so many fucking problems, I don't even know if that's going to come to fruition or not. Even if it does, it'd be nice, but it wouldn't be anything new. It would just be probably the first arc of the series, live action. So I think he sees the state that it's in right now, and he has some he has some good Flash animating skills. I've looked at some of his videos and his animations, and I'm thinking that's pretty good. And you can go look at them on his channel, too. And he's done some pretty good fight animations and stuff as well. So, he certainly has talent. So he's thinking, I'm going to maybe, try to help out the fandom a little bit here. And I'm going to try to, animate this and, maybe, and a lot of people are getting excited about this. And a lot of people are sending me messages like, why don't you talk about him? It seems like you're ignoring him. And here's basically what I will tell you pretty much my exact thoughts. But like I said, I do think he means well, and I'm not trying to sound like an asshole or anything, but I seriously doubt that this project could get to the point where he's actually making a lot of the promises that he says. Now, the way I look at this is, if he's planning on animating the entire final arc of Bleach, we're talking about 206 chapters. So that's why I wanted to correct me if he actually said he wanted to animate the entire final arc of Bleach, because that's a big check you're writing out there. That is a very large check, and I hope you understand how many expectations are made when you write out a check that fucking big. So maybe someone can clarify that. Yep. Okay. Well, that's what the information I'm going with here. That's minimum 50 episodes. Yes, it is. If you're talking about anywhere from, I'd say, 1.5 to maybe 3 chapters per episode. There have been some Bleach episodes that have incorporated 3 chapters. Bleach is... There's a lot of chapters that are more action than dialogue, and you can fit some more stuff in there. Like, remember the Burnout Inferno? Remember the chapters where Yamamoto fought against Aizen, and that was 3 chapters in the manga? They compressed all that shit into 1 episode in the anime. So I would say anywhere from, I mean, it depends on the particular chapter, but it's 1.5 to 3 chapters, I'd say, per episode. And we're talking about a 22-minute episode. That's how long anime is. And I don't know much. I mean, I know a little bit about animation. Obviously, Retro Rhino, you know how animation works. You know how difficult it can be, how time-consuming it can be. Better than I do, but just to share it with the ladies and gentlemen out there, the idea, this is not something you can just do in a matter of just a few days. If you're talking about a 22-minute episode, that's a project in and of itself. If Retro Rhino came out and said, I'm going to try to animate like one of the, like the first episode of the, anime or something like that, that would be a big project, and it would take a long-ass time, but I would feel like, yeah, if you had maybe a small team of people and you had a lot of time on your hands, you could maybe make that happen. But multiply that 50 times minimum. So, what the video that I watched anyway was basically asking is Retro Rhino was asking for more animators, more people to help him on this project. I think what he said was he had himself and he had one of his friends working on the animation at the moment, and he was planning on getting he wants to help people. He wants people to help him out there, hook up some more connections, get some more animators on the project and everything like that. I'll be honest with you, when I was watching his video, when I was trying to take in this what he's claiming, what he's trying to accomplish here, I was overwhelmed with so many questions. And I watched a little bit of his Q&A video, and I gotta tell you, a lot of those Q&A questions, they were not focused too much on the production side. I mean, a few were, but a lot of them were just like, who's going to voice Yuha? What are you going to do with the Volt Stand eggs? Are you going to do anything different with the Bankais? And I'm thinking, I think you guys might be jumping the gun a little bit here. I think you guys might be acting like this is a project that's already like yeah, everything's ready to go and everything's set and this is going to happen 100%. I think you might be getting a little bit too excited here, okay? So I'm going to lay out some questions I have from Retro Rhino here. And there's probably going to be a lot of tangents involved, but I thought about this for a little bit. I'm going to be trying to direct this as easily as possible. I should have written some of this down, but this was kind of off the cuff here. So first off, this is just a preference from me. I would be happy if you managed to do this, but I mean, Bleach is not animated in Flash. It just isn't. It just isn't Flash animation. It's something else. And like I said, his animations were really good. I've seen way shittier animations on YouTube. But that's just a minor complaint. That's just something, my own personal preference. I'd watch it. Yeah, I'd watch it too. I just want to point out that yes, Bleach is not animated in Flash, but that's not really so much of a complaint. That's well, it's a complaint from me. But if it was out and you managed to do it like 20-minute episodes 50 times, yeah, I would watch it regardless if it was in Flash. But that's just a preference. Okay, so first off, the first question I would say is, do you legitimately, seriously think, Retro Rhino, that this is a project that is feasible? That is the first question. No bullshit. Actually look inside to yourself. Actually think about what you can do, what your life is like. I don't know anything about Retro Rhino. I don't know if he's in college. I don't know if he has a job. I don't know what his living conditions are. I don't know any of that. But do you, seriously think about yourself? Do you think this is a project that you can actually do? That would be my first question. And yeah. Okay, second question. If you think that this is possible, if you think this is feasible, how many people do you think you would need to have working under you to make this possible? Because in the video, the way he said it, the way I took it is, it's like, hey guys, I need a few more animators for this to make it happen. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, dude, you're going to need way more than just a few animators. You're going to need a lot of people. This isn't the kind of thing you can accomplish with just 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 people animating. You're going to need a lot of people. And let's just say, not just animators. You're going to need a lot of people beyond animation to help you out here. He also mentioned, I think, that he was doing an opening. Like, oh, wow, you're actually even going the extra mile. You're even going to animate an opening. I'm like, okay, well, you're trying to make this the whole thing. But, so let's just talk about animation first. And, this is an obvious question, but how are you gonna make sure these people are gonna stay around for this project? Because, let's be honest here, you're gonna need to pay these people something. I know that you probably don't have a lot of money on your hand. You asked for donate. I mean, I don't have, it's just, money makes the world go round. It does. Even if you get somebody, there's a reason why professional animations, like, anime studios and shit, there's a reason that, I mean, that's their full-time job, is to be an animator. And I actually hear they get paid pretty much shit. But they have a whole department of animators working full-time to make these episodes get out on time. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people in this process. But let's say you get a team of people that actually want to work on this, and they say, oh yeah, we're fans of Bleach, we're fans of the series, we'll help you out. Do you think, honestly, they will stick around for free? They might stick around for maybe an episode, but like I said, this is going to require a lot of work. This is a full-time thing, dude. This isn't the kind of thing that you can just do part-time. Like if you're having a part-time job, or if you're in college, this is going to be difficult, if not impossible, to accomplish in its entirety. You know what I mean? Like, and let's keep in mind that every single one of these animators, they're also, they also have lives. They have stuff going on. What happens if you get a team of 8 animators working under you, and they're helping you out with the episode, and then they're all like, oh, by the way, we have other stuff going on, our lives are busy, we have to leave, and then they jump ship, and what are you going to do? And that's the same for every part of this project. That's not just the part for the animators, that's the part for, what about voice acting, huh? Voice acting was another point I had. The same basic thing, like, what are you going to do if you... okay, well, first off, how are you going to cast these people? Are you going to be in charge of the voice casting? Because you can't do everything. You're just one person. You can't be the animator, and you can't be the voice director, and you can't be who's going to script the episodes. You got to have people working under you that can do that stuff. And preferably, they wouldn't be people that are just your friends. Like, you just go up to your friends and be like, hey, man, I'm working on this side project. Can you maybe help me do with the casting call? I mean, you're going to preferably need people that actually know how to do this kind of stuff. And then you get to the voice acting themselves. Let's say you do a casting call or something, because there's websites that can do that. There's some people that have really good microphones. Like, I have a decent microphone, but there's other people, they don't all have that kind of setup, I have a pretty decent setup. I could probably figure out some way to record lines to have minimal sound in the background, and I actually come through clear, but not everybody has this setup, you know what I mean? And it would be rather distracting if I'm watching this Bleach anime and, Ichigo's voice sounds nice and clear, and then Rukia's comes on sounding like her actress is in a freaking blast furnace or something. You need a professional studio space. That's what it comes down to. You're gonna, I can't see this project going anywhere without some sort of space to work in that you're gonna need to have. You're going to need a professional studio and the equipment and top-tier microphones and that kind of shit. Like, even look at Team 4-Star. Team 4-Star does Dragon Ball Z Abridged. They don't even have to do the animation aspect. The animation's already done. They're just dubbing the project. Does he at least have a small studio? I don't know. And even if he does, in order to utilize that studio to its fullest, he would have to have the right equipment, and he would have to have the voice actors living around him. I don't know where he lives. If he lives in a city, that would be easy. If he lives out in the sticks like I do, that would be next to impossible. But Team 4-Star, they just do that Abridged series. They have their own offices. It's not just the 4 people working on Team 4-Star. They have a whole team of the people working under them. They have a professional recording studio and shit, So how are you going to do that? Who's going to be in charge of voice acting? Music, same thing. Who's going to be in charge of music? Are you going to use the regular Bleach soundtrack? Are you going to utilize new music? If you're going to utilize new music, you got to pay the royalties for that. If you want to compose new music, you got to get somebody to do that. Oh, let's talk about royalties really quick. I think in order to do this, if you're going to, produce 20-minute long episodes of the Bleach anime, utilizing shit like the logo and the copyrights and that kind of stuff, I feel like TV Tokyo and the people that, whoever owns Bleach, I'm pretty sure it's them, who owns the Bleach anime, I guess I should say, I have a feeling they're going to have something to say about that. I don't think they care too much if it's like it's a 1 or 2 minute long fan animation on YouTube, but if they see some guy trying to make the Bleach anime and, you know, how are you going to distribute it? Are you going to upload it to YouTube? Are you going to upload it to another website? Are you going to charge money to watch it? Is it going to be like a YouTube Red thing? Because the money has to come from somewhere, Retro Rhino. It does. The money has to come from somewhere. You're going to have money to pay people to stay with this project. Not everybody's just going to do this pro bono and stick with the entire thing. You might get some kind-hearted people that might help you with maybe an episode or two, but it's just not going to be possible with that many people, with the people that you would need for this project. You're going to need to pay them something. If you're gonna charge money for it, you're gonna have to pay for the rights to Bleach, and I don't know how much money that is. And if you're gonna be able, and that's not something that you can just email TV Tokyo and be like, "Hey guys, I want the rights to Bleach." All right, send a check for $10,000 and we'll hook you up. No, how would you even go about doing that? I don't know how you would have to go about doing that. How do you go about purchasing the rights for something? You'd have to hire a lawyer. That's the answer to that question. You'd have to hire a lawyer. You'd have to get the paperwork in order to get the rights to it, so you can make sure that what you're doing is legal. I would hire a lawyer anyway to make sure that this is legal to begin with, you know? Oh, it's just too much work. I appreciate your concern and your love for the series and your love for the Bleach fandom, and you're wanting to use your talents as an animator to help them out. But you can't do the entire, unless you meet these criteria. I can't see any way of you getting this whole thing off the ground. And he mentions in the video, like, he's got like a he's got like a Patreon. Dude, you're gonna need way more than a Patreon. You're gonna need way more than just a casual donations. You're gonna need to start a Kickstarter or something, and you're gonna need to make a shit ton of money off of it. You're gonna have to have a lot of money handy to make this process happen. Like, check back to me when you get, I don't know, like a couple $100,000 to start, probably more. We're probably talking closer to like $500,000, if not higher. I don't know how much money it costs to make an anime, but factoring in studio space, paying all the animators, paying all the voice actors, paying for the rights to Bleach, paying for certain music rights, this process isn't going to run smoothly. Probably something's going to break along the fucking line. You're going to have to pay for fixing that. And there's a million and other things that can go wrong. It'll cost millions. Yeah, that's what I think. So there are my thoughts on Retro Rhino. That's why I haven't really talked about him. I don't like to be the buzzkill, because I know a lot of people are getting excited about this. I could see that just from his Q&A video, from the people asking questions and the kinds of questions people were asking. They were acting like this was already like set in stone, ready to go. Like, oh, who can I try out for voices? I'm like, that should be like the 15th thing on your list of things you need to make sure you get ready for this project to go. So aside from the Kickstarter, you know, like, check back to me when you hit 100,000 or more. What I would suggest, Retro Rhino, you do, if you want to help out, if you want to kind of lift the spirits of the Bleach fandom, if you want to give us something, I would say scale it back considerably, because you are talented at Flash animation. I would say focus on going into certain scenes, kind of like a Pokemon Generations thing. Like, look at certain scenes in the final arc, like Ichigo getting his new swords, or, you know, Shunsui's Bankai, or Uehara's Bankai, or, you know, sexy adult Bishonen Toshiro, you know. I would focus on the scenes like that and animate those, because those would actually probably take, I mean, they would still be a lot of work, but that would be actually feasible. You know what I mean? Maybe make a 20-minute episode of Bleach, but do it like the chronicles of like the final arc, like the high points of the final arc or something like that. Like that's something I could see maybe possibly doing. Even then, you're going to need a lot of money, but I think you can make that happen. I think that is actually feasible. Oh. So there you go. Someone will probably, I'll make sure